Time doesn't just pass in Chrono Odyssey, it twists, fights back, and demands you master it. Set in the breathtaking, ever-shifting world of Cedra, this next-gen MMORPG redefines what it means to explore, fight, and shape destiny. With time manipulation at the heart of both combat and world building, every decision ripples across eras. You're not just another hero, you're a chronomancer rewriting fate, one echo at a time. Chrono Odyssey isn't just another flashy MMORPG with oversized weapons and cinematic flair. It's something deeper, something designed to twist your expectations and rewrite what you think an MMO can be. It's a time-warping, reality-ripping beast that's aiming to shake the genre's foundations. Developed by NPIXEL and built in Unreal Engine 5, this game dares to ask, what if your greatest power wasn't strength, but control over time itself? First off, setting matters, and Chrono Odyssey delivers a world that bleeds scale and spectacle. The land of Cedra is where this all goes down. It's not just massive, it feels alive. From dense forests to haunted ruins, every region pulses with tension. But it's not just monsters you need to worry about, it's the twisting of time itself. Environments shift, past and future collapse, and you're stuck in the middle with only a blade and some serious chrono powers. The world itself often feels like a puzzle box built to react to your presence, with environments and events that shift depending on when and how you interact with them. For instance, opening a sealed gate in one timeline might create a new path or enemy encounter in another, encouraging players to experiment with temporal mechanics not just in combat, but in exploration and progression. Even just walking through Cedra can become an unexpected encounter. As time, anomalies may trigger alternate versions of locations or unleash echoes of past events that alter your path. You might witness a city at its peak in one timeline, and then return to see it in ruin, overrun by monsters or shrouded in mystery. Cedra is a world constantly asking questions of you: who were you? Who are you? And who will you become? And it's not all darkness. Some timelines reveal long-lost beauty, sunlight over forgotten temples, ghost towns suddenly filled with life again. It's a constantly evolving dreamscape. That brings us to the real star here, the time manipulation mechanic. This isn't a gimmick. In the middle of chaotic boss fights or sprawling PvE events, being able to freeze time, rewind a moment, or shift your position through space-time isn't just flashy, it's survival. Picture this, you're surrounded, you blink out of existence, reappear behind the enemy, and go full anime finisher. That's the kind of energy Chrono Odyssey is channeling. But it's not just about evasion or positioning. The system encourages you to think multiple steps ahead. Using time strategically, maybe rewinding a mistake, or predicting when to pause the flow of time to avoid massive AOS, adds a cerebral layer to the hack-and-slash chaos. Even outside of combat, time plays a vital role, resetting puzzles, altering landscapes, or revisiting earlier quests with altered outcomes can lead to new secrets and hidden bosses. There's even potential for timeline-based stealth where you erase your own footsteps, or use an echo to draw attention away. But none of this works without solid combat, and thankfully, this is where the game might actually surprise Soulsborne fans. It's weighty, deliberate, each class feels unique and impactful. Whether you're wielding greatswords or channeling magic through staves, animations are sharp and combat has a crunchy, responsive feel you want from modern action RPGs. There's also a real sense of rhythm. Attacks chain into finishers and dodges feel earned rather than automatic. Momentum matters. Knowing when to press forward and when to hang back can change everything in the span of a few seconds. Players who master this rhythm can unleash powerful combo chains that are not only effective, but visually spectacular. Combat here isn't just about surviving, it's about performing. And if that's not enough, gear loadouts and weapon affinities bring a deeper level of strategic decision-making. Equip a chrono-charged weapon, and you might gain access to time fractures that slow enemies in your vicinity. Or switch to an ancient relic that opens rifts to parallel realms mid-battle. Chrono Odyssey gives you 6 classes to choose from: Swordsman, Ranger, Sorcerer, Paladin, Assassin, and Berserker. Each one is customizable and tied into the time mechanic differently. For example, a Sorcerer might rewind a spell's cooldown, while an Assassin might teleport between moments to chain kills. It's more than just min-maxing. It's about choosing how you want to bend the rules of time itself. The more you play, the more you unlock unique skills that let you blur the line between classes, creating hybrid builds that push combat creativity even further. There's even speculation of future subclasses being added that deepen these mechanics, allowing players to specialize in specific timeline manipulations like paradox weaving or alternate dimension summoning. Think of the assassin who can tag a target in one timeline and strike them in another. Or the paladin who creates a sanctuary bubble where time runs slower, giving allies a critical edge. Enemies, yeah, they're not your usual cannon fodder. Take, for example, the Chrono Raids Phantom-like creatures that blink in and out of different timelines mid-fight. One moment they're across the battlefield, the next they're right behind you, exploiting a second you didn't even know you lost. You'll be going up against creatures corrupted by the force known as the Void, and some of these things look like they crawled out of a cosmic horror painting. Giant insectoid beasts, writhing shadow titans, and ancient gods lost in time. Chrono Odyssey doesn't hold back on scale or design, and it's not just brute strength. These enemies evolve, some mutate mid-fight. Others shift timelines, summoning past versions of themselves or warping in help from alternate realities. You'll need brains and reflexes in equal measure. Even smaller enemies have mechanics mimics disguised as loot, cursed objects that trap you in stasis loops, and illusionists who distort your sense of time and space. Fighting them is part tactics, part puzzle, learn their rhythm, or be erased from the timeline entirely. And when it comes to boss fights, this game's got ambition. We're talking multi-phase battles where environments shift mid-fight, where time itself is part of the puzzle. This isn't a button masher, it's choreography under pressure, and if you're not paying attention, you'll die beautifully. Many bosses even require you to engage with the time system, solving in-combat puzzles, freezing collapsing bridges, or rewinding a broken mechanism to continue the fight. It feels more like a dynamic performance than a health bar slugfest. Some battles include co-op time mechanics where players need to sync actions across split timelines, making teamwork feel genuinely vital. Even solo battles feel like dances elegant, chaotic, and full of moments where victory feels earned rather than given. On the multiplayer side, there's a big promise of large-scale battles. Think realm versus realm, world bosses, and co-op raids that actually require coordination. This isn't just about grinding gear, it's about participating in events that feel alive and dynamic, where every second counts literally. PvP zones are also expected to feature shifting objectives depending on the timeline you're in, encouraging players to revisit them repeatedly to master each variation and discover time-specific rewards or strategies. These evolving conditions could influence long-term PvP strategies and meta shifts, forcing guilds and solo players alike to adapt their tactics not just to the enemy, but to the timeline itself, creating moments where battles evolve in real time and no encounter plays out the same way twice, even during a long war. And if the devs deliver on what's been teased, players may be able to alter the outcomes of these battles retroactively through temporal artifacts, rewriting the history of war zones in real time. Imagine winning a siege not by brute force, but by sabotaging a supply route before it was even built. What about the story? While much is still under wraps, we do know that players are caught in a war between the gods of Cedra and a mysterious force tied to the Chronotector, a relic that lets you twist time. Your role: survive the cycle, rewrite destiny, and figure out whether the future is even worth saving. As you progress, your choices begin to fracture timelines, opening up alternate quests and diverging endings. Your version of Cedra may not match someone else's. Your actions truly echo across the ages. Some NPCs will remember you differently depending on which timeline you're currently in. This narrative design encourages replayability not out of grind, but out of curiosity. What if you had taken the other path? There's a living memory system in place. Characters change, alliances shift, and forgotten truths from the past might return to haunt or help you. Now here's something important. This game isn't just a solo journey. It's designed to make you feel like a part of something bigger. The environments are handcrafted, not procedurally generated. The dynamic weather and time systems affect gameplay, and those time manipulation mechanics? They're not just in combat. Puzzles, exploration, and world events will all tie into how you control time. NPCs may appear differently depending on the area you visit, and towns may thrive or fall apart based on your intervention. It adds a surprising amount of consequence to how you explore. There are even rumors that entire regions may be permanently altered or sealed away depending on your decisions, locking or unlocking future content for you and your friends. This isn't just a game world, it's a stage for your legend. And visually, it's a stunner. Unreal Engine 5 does heavy lifting here. Lush environments, realistic lighting, fluid animations. But it's not just pretty for pretty's sake. It helps sell the mood. There's weight to the world. Whether you're standing on a cliff watching stars fall in reverse or warping through shattered timelines, it feels meaningful. Even your character leaves time echoes, visual remnants that tell a story of your journey and past decisions. The more you play, the more your presence is literally etched into the world. And if that wasn't enough, the soundtrack shifts with the era melancholy violins for the past, synthetic choirs for the future, adding an emotional heartbeat to the temporal chaos. Lighting effects also adapt to your timeline, candles in the past, flickering neon in the future. It's not just art direction, it's emotional direction. These sensory details are designed to pull you deeper into Cedra's fabric, making every step feel personal, every timeline feel lived in. If you're into Elden Ring's combat, but wish it had more MMO elements, this is your vibe. If you love Final Fantasy XIV, but want darker themes and real-time combat, this might be your thing. If you're burned out on static grind fests and want a world that moves, breathes, and evolves, Chrono Odyssey is worth your radar. If you crave storylines that twist logic and moments that demand you pause just to take it all in, it might just be your next obsession. But here's the truth, everything rides on execution. We've seen big MMORPG promises before that didn't stick the landing. What gives us hope here is the dev commitment to quality, the solid gameplay showcases so far, and the creative risk of building a time-based action MMORPG that actually leans into its premise. The question isn't just whether Chrono Odyssey will launch well, it's whether it can sustain its momentum and deliver on the living, breathing timeline it promises. If it can deliver even half of what it's aiming for, this won't just be another MMO. It'll be a moment, a genre redefinition, a temporal revolution. A story not just told, but experienced across generations of time. So as we wait for more release details, one thing's clear. Chrono Odyssey isn't just playing with time. It's trying to define the future of fantasy MMOs.